kids, today we are going to subtract with renaming mixed numbers. Our first example is mixed number minus mixed number. As with our previous work, you always stack your fractions first. Then you're going to find your common denominators. In this case, our common denominator is going to be 6. So we need to multiply by 3. 2 times 3, and what we multiply the denominator by, we must also multiply the numerator by. So they both get multiplied by 3. Since 5, 6 already has a denominator of 6, we can multiply by 1. The next thing that we do is carry over our whole number. So we don't want to forget to carry over the whole number. So we want to carry over this whole number 3. And now let's look at 1/2 times 3. And that's going to give us 3/6. The next thing that we need to do is to carry over our whole number from 1 and 5/6. We don't want to forget to carry over the whole number 1. And this is going to stay the same, 5/6, as our fraction. Now we can look at subtracting. We can see 3 and 3/6 minus 1 and 5/6 that the fractional portion of this can't be subtracted, 3/6 minus 5/6. So this is what's new for us. We have to now regroup. So we're going to regroup. So this 3 is now going to become a 2. And we are going to make a whole number that we can add to 3/6, but our whole number has to be in fractional form. And we know that since our common denominator is 6, we can use 6/6 as our whole number, and that's going to be added to 3/6 like this. And then we can proceed with our equivalent fractions once again by carrying over the whole number 2. We're going to carry that over. And now we have 6/6 plus 3/6. When we're adding with like denominators, we leave the denominator the same, so that will stay 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So we have 2 and 9/6 over here. 1 and 5/6, again, did not change, so we are going to leave that there. 3 and 3.5, 3 and 3/6, and 2 and 9/6, these are all equivalent fractions. Now we subtract. 9/6 minus 5/6 is going to be 4/6. 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. This is even over even, 4/6. An even fraction over an even numerator over an even denominator, we know that is not in simplest form. So we need to divide, in this case, by 2. And when we put this in simplest form, we're going to get 1 and 2/3. So let's look at some more examples. So here's going to be another example. This time we are going to subtract mixed number minus fraction. In this example, we still need to set up our fraction by stacking. So we have 1 and 1/3 minus 3/4. And you want to subtract by stacking the fraction over the fraction and leaving the whole number off to itself. Next, we are going to find common denominators as we normally would, and that common denominator is going to be 12. So we're going to multiply 1/3 by 4, numerator and denominator, and we're going to multiply 3/4 by 3, both the numerator and the denominator. And so we're going to carry over our whole number, so we don't want to forget to do that. So we're going to multiply to get 4/12, and this we do not have a whole number, and this is going to be 9/12 that we are going to multiply for our equivalent fraction. I can see right away 4/12 and 9/12, I'm not going to be able to subtract that. So I am going to have to, again, regroup. So I'm going to regroup this into a 0, and I have to have a whole number that's in fraction form so I can add with the 4/12. Since my common denominator is 12, that is what I'm going to use, 12 over 12. So 12/12 is going to get added with the 4/12. And so now I'm going to have the fraction 12/12 plus 4/12, and that's going to give me 16/12. So over here, I'm going to have 16 over 12. That's going to be my equivalent fraction. And then 9/12 did not change. That stayed the same. So now we can subtract 16/12. We can subtract and 9/12. And that is going to give us 7/12 when we subtract that. We need to check to see if this is in simplest form. And I know that 7 over 12 is simplified. We can't get any simpler than that. One more example that we need to take a look at. Sometimes you're going to have a whole number minus a mixed number. This is going to be a little different from the other two. So we still want to line them up. We want to stack them. 8 minus 7 over 9. Notice that right away there is no fractional part with this whole number 8. But I'm going to be able to create one. I need to regroup, and so I'm going to make this 8 a 7. And once we do that, we are going to put a fraction here that represents the whole number that we took away. We need to look down here and see that, okay, our fraction is 9, so we're going to use this as our guide, and this is going to be 9/9. So that is going to be the one whole that we took away from this 8, and we can create that 9/9. And over here, I'm just going to clean this up so that we can see what we are working with. We have 7 and 9/9 minus 2 and 7/9. Now we can subtract this. 9/9 minus 7/9, that's going to give us 2/9. And 7 minus 2 is going to give us 5. So now we have 5 and 2/9. We're going to check to see if this is in simplest form. 2/9. We can't find another number other than 1 that we could divide by. So this is in fact in simplest form. Make sure that you review this as many times as you need to. Make sure that you ask any questions that you may have about the work that you're doing, and make sure that you are taking your time as you're working on this new concept.